I just learned something. Sadique means friend. Today I'm sitting with a titan who's also a good friend, Sadique, who runs this very tasty business called the Chai Kings. I'm super excited to have Sadique in this show of Evolve with Titans. Sadique, thank you so much for coming here.
Happy to be here, Amar.
We met, I think it's 2 years ago in Madurai. Ever since I wanted to, sit with you and talk to you and learn a lot of things. Because the one thing that stood out in the talk that day was you naturally came by as a like a teacher mari or mentor mari. So I wanted to sit with you for a long time, and I'm happy we're doing this. Like always, I want to start asking you about your journey, not like a regular sense. What are the nuances in your journey that you really keeps hitting you again and again? In the journey, in the 4-5 years of journey, all the nuances, this part of the journey was amazing teaching for me, amazing things that I learned. And the nuances, how was your? Can you tell us about your journey?
See, if I look back, journey in Patina, I don't look at the last 5 years as my. I think it all started when I joined work, 2001 when I joined a company in Chennai. I think that's when the whole thing started. I think the base for what I'm doing now was laid in 2000. I think that's how I look at it. 12 years I worked in IT years firm. I have gone through more than the last 5 years. We've gone through a lot in those 10-12 years, which has shaped us. Meaning me and Balaji, we have both worked together in almost the same companies for most of the years. And the 10-12 years is what has shaped us. I joined a company. I will start the career with, positively it will go. I'll reach the heights kind of thing, and then suddenly it will come down, right? And the project itself will be closed. So again we'll have to start again. So multiple things were done in the first 10-12 years. So suddenly Balaji one day came and said, why go through this cycle again and again and again? Let's do something. I said, why do this? Meaning, whatever happens, we are kind of earning a lump sum amount. Every month on the 30th, you get that SMS with the salary thing. Why do you want to spoil that and go and try something new and get into a risk zone? When you have a family, when you have EMIs, everything is done. He said, no, let's do. I think whatever we have learned in the last 10-12 years will help us do better if we do our own business. We said we'll start it off with a franchise business. Both our fathers are bankers. Myself and Balaji's fathers are bankers. Both of them are not from a business background. There was no one to guide as well. So we thought we'll definitely screw up with whatever money we have. Let's go and try the franchise business. We took up franchise outlets. We started with one, then one became 2, 3, 4.
This was franchise of what?
Franchise of Green Trends.
Oh, salon.
Okay. Salon. So we took a salon initially. One became 5. In about 2-3 years, that also grew. Not much interference from us. We just have to manage the marketing part of it and then the finances part of it. Like business by business, the ideas behind it, new products, Green Trend, the salon itself will manage. Yeah. So number one, just need to take care of properly running the salon, right? So that we did, obviously. So 4 years down the line, we had multiple salons, we also ran a Subway restaurant for about 3-4 years. So all of this was giving us some learning to do a business of our own. Let's do something of our own. We thought we'll do both are non-veg lovers. We thought we'll start a non-veg QSR kind of a kebab kind of a restaurant. So we started work on that. The budget was very high. Each outlet would cost somewhere in the range of 70-75 lakh. Very capital intensive. We thought this setup was we will not be able to establish a brand. Our outlet probably will make money, but it will not become a brand. We'll stop the rate and we'll look at a smaller format, something like 20-25 lakhs, 15 lakhs on the money time. We'll do a small format, try pannu. We were looking at it. After we thought we'll do a coffee outlet. Madras Coffee, right? I was a big fan of Madras Coffee at that time. சரின்னு சொல்லிட்டு we'll do a similar thing, but we know what pros and cons of Madras. We had our own analysis. We thought we'll do it better than that ன்னு சொல்லிட்டு தான் started. We had a small team like you have, all interns, friends எல்லாம் போட்டு we started work, branding எல்லாம் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கும்போது every 1-2 hours they all took breaks, but all of those breaks were chai breaks, none of that was coffee break. எல்லாம் போயிட்டு டீ தான், ஒரு டீ. Some people had cigarettes along with it, but most of them had tea and then come back. That's when it figured out that okay, coffee we have a bigger market for chai ன்னு சொல்லிட்டு we started working on the chai.
So that's
tea.
a decision that you changed.
We changed,
in the
yeah.
middle.
We almost everything was done. The branding was done. We didn't print and all, but then the idea, people have put in a lot of effort to come up with the name, the slogans, taglines, all of that. Pricing Allah, we almost kind of finalized. Then we thought, okay, this will not work. So we completely moved away from the idea and fixed chai. We did a lot of research. We figured out there are a lot of brands up north, there are a lot of brands outside India like Philly and all. So we thought this model will work. Then we took a big trip. We went everywhere, checked out all the products, all the pricing, the models and all of that. Then we figured out what will work in Chennai, and that's how we did Chai Kings.
Super. So the best thing about startup is what you constantly evolve, you constantly change, you constantly adapt to things. Yeah.
See, there are,
So without us knowing, most of the people who we are bringing into this Evolve with Titans have a common thread. They finish engineering or some college, go to IT, including me, then quit and come back to this, right? So அங்கிருந்து with our generation, what has happened is you finish a college degree, go to a work, and then get some knowledge and money, and then come do what you like. Yeah, but the latest thing is many people come directly from college and start things. So what are the things that you learned? You said you learned a lot of things during those 12 years. Those 12 years taught you a lot of things. If you can tell us a few things that are very, very important key factor for your success or this Chai King journey, what would that be?
I worked for a company, right? They had it was a US-based company. The money we are dealing with was in dollars, right? Meaning 1 into 70 is the value of the money that we are dealing with. Irrespective of the size that we were running, we are all, meaning all of us similar in the company. People like me, my colleagues, all of us had a small business to run. I mean, irrespective of the roles, right? Even that smallest business, if you convert that into Indian rupee value, that would be in crores. Meaning, but we were running that. I mean, we were responsible for the P&L of that account, the budgeting of that account, managing the manpower of that account. Without building the infrastructure for such a big responsibility, you are given the responsibility to run it. I have run multi-million-dollar businesses, meaning in the sense I have managed it without putting in the money or without building the infrastructure for it. So that kind of an experience I will not be able to get if I am an entrepreneur at all. If I compare the sizes of what I have managed before and what I am managing now, it is only about 10-15% of what I have done. So in that way, the confidence that I have that I can manage this kind of a business, and the ups and downs that I've seen, the losses that I've seen, the mistakes that I've made, and the results out of that has kind of seasoned us. Meaning, I think all of us who have worked with me have gone through similar.
See, for me personally, I'll tell you, Sadiq. See, like you, who picked up chai store. It is not like chai stores were not available. There were like so many chai stores available. You came and did something different in that. Yeah, adhe mari. It was not like wedding photography was not existing. It was existing. It was there. So what we came and changed is the nuances, right? Being professional, being responsive to the clients, delivering what we promise. All those things that I learned from my job is what I applied here, and that gave us an edge. Yeah, அந்த மாதிரி Chai Kingsக்கு what are the things that really proved, oh, these are the things that really helped us? அந்த மாதிரி ஏதாவது இருக்கா?
See, there are a lot of things, right? There is a gap in the money. So now when we started off, when we did a small research, Chennai la evlo tea kada irukku. There are about 15,000 tea shops were there. Every street had at least about one. So 15,000 tea shop, that is what we're competing with. Not in direct competition, but that is how people will look at it. When there are so many available, why will I go to this shop then? So how can we differentiate in how can we better what is available? One is making it available for customers all the time, right? Variety, availability of variety, and at the same time make it affordable for them. நான் வந்து நல்ல வெரைட்டி கொடுக்குறேன்னு சொல்லிட்டு I can't price it 100 rupees and give it in a small. என்னோட ஆம்பியன்ஸுக்கு தகுந்த மாதிரி I have to price it. So all of this we did. அதெல்லாம் போக one thing we learned from work was நீங்கள் சொன்ன மாதிரி தான் being responsive to the customer. You cannot take the customer for granted இல்லை. ஸோ அது that டீ கடையில் போனால் மதிக்க மாட்டான்னு இல்லை, but then you will not get that அந்த ஒரு customer service you cannot expect. You can pay, you get your tea and go back, but then if there is a complaint or if there is an issue, how they deal with it, அந்த மாதிரி issues எல்லாம் that is where we learned and I work for a customer service company. So எப்படி கஸ்டமர்கிட்ட பேசணும், என்னெல்லாம் சொல்லக்கூடாது, so all those things we kind of implemented here.
So what is the other differentiating factor between your, because you went into a business which is done already by 15,000 people, how did you plan a differentiation?
See, this is a very basic product, right? Tea. You can't differentiate at all. You shouldn't differentiate. You can't sell a different tea to the customer and make it alienate the customer. Like, tea வேற மாதிரி இருக்குன்னா வேலைக்கு ஆகாது. So the product has to be the same. Pricing can't be so much. So the core of the business has to be the same. You can't differentiate at all. But then there are other factors like the ambience and the snack that goes along with the chai, and then how we deliver it to the customer. See, the very simple thing, we have a billing system, right? The POS system, so long. We built our own POS system. We tried all the POS systems for about almost 2.5 years. Then we got fed up of it and built our own system. The basic reason behind building our POS system is to keep the number of clicks minimal. So when you come and order, we'll have to we measure the number of clicks. நீங்கள் வரீங்க ஆர்டர் சரிங்கன்னா how many clicks I do and give you the bill. All the POSes that were available in the market had so many clicks, so many screens before I give you the bill. It will be
this you can connect back to the experience that you had.
We've seen அங்க வாங்கியிருக்கோம் நாங்கள் ஏற்கனவே. So we thought it will be in microsecond, but then it will make a big difference to the customer. You come and tell me I want a ginger chai, and then if I take ages to bill it and then give it to you.
This is a crazy point, because when I started photography business, I built my own CRM system because I was seeing all the things. There were no CRM system for studios.
இருக்காது. அதேதான் டீ கடைக்கு இல்ல.
And I can connect that and I can attribute that to the experience that I had. Even now, when I see somebody doing manual process again and again and again, I'll be saying, you have to automate this. Let's say somebody, a 20-year-old or 21-year-old is sitting and watching this interview, and for him, what would you tell about that experience, right? Is it a must? Should they go work somewhere and then get into something that they love to do, or is it okay to bypass that? From your opinion.
Okay, it's purely dependent on the individual. For a person like me, I had zero experience before I started work. And before I went to join that company, I had no idea about the outside world at all. It was a very small family, school, college. That's all I had. I had no experience at all. Whereas my partner Balaji, எல்லா விஷயமும் அவனுக்கு தெரியும். I mean, he is completely aware of what is happening. He knows how to deal with people. எல்லாமே தெரியும். He had better outside knowledge than myself. So completely on the individual, but also on the way you grew up. Like if you are growing up in a business family, or if you have access to, or if you are listening to even conversations about business in the family, you need not go out and do. But if you can work in a bigger company like me, or even any structured company, I think it will only help in my knowledge. Even if you are coming up from a business background, whatever your background is, if you can work, it will help you. But then if you are good enough to take up your own thing, you can do that also. But completely depending on the individual only.
So till now you've mentioned Balaji's name many times.
Okay.
Right? That shows how your relationship with Balaji is and how you respect him and all that. But also in India, the biggest reason the startups fail is having multiple founders. So what is the relationship between you and Balaji, and how, what are the things that constantly goes in your mind? Hey, this is why we do both of them click. This is exactly why we click.
See, like I said, when my father had a big aversion to this partnership thing. Balaji's father also. They were all saying like, why do this? Why spoil friendship? You know, friendship nale, partnership nale, I mean, it can be a problem. I've had my own uncle who's got a very close, thickest friend. They got into business and then they fought within a year. I told Balaji, it will not work. I'll do my job. So I sent him off. But he was very persistent. I don't know why. Almost a year, every time he see something, he'll say, "Ida pannalam, ada pannalam." But I kept pushing him, "Vana." But after a point, I said, "Okay, let's do this." Okay, but I was very aversive to the idea. But let's try and sort it. But plus Balaji and I had a working relationship. Plus we were working together. At some point, he was kind of reporting to me at some point. So on the relationship where so kind of one level above in the work. But here we are equal. Here we are partners, 50-50 partners. I don't know how that is going to work. But we started off. But once we started off, I think after initial 3-4 months, we figured out it will work. The reason being, the major problem to the entire partnership thing is ego, right? I mean, that is all it is. நான் சொல்றதா நீ சொல்றதா இல்லைனா நான் சொல்றதை கேட்காம அவன் சொல்றதை செய்கிறோம் அந்த மாதிரி issues தான் probably always the issues இல்லை. Here whatever there is an issue, whatever the discussion point is, I figure out that Balaji doesn't take anything to his heart. Meaning it's not about his idea or my idea. We talk it out, we figure out if it is good for the business or if it is not good for we put the business first and take decision based on that. We reason out. He'll say his side of the story and then we'll see which is better and go ahead and do that.
So for people who are getting into partnership, what should they have in their mind?
See, it's more about, I think, their personality, right? Meaning it cannot be like I always compromise and give it to Balaji, he compromise and give it to me, right? On the situation, it will not work. It has to be like, it has to be always like, what is your end purpose? And what you want Jackings to do well, or you want your business to do well. And if you keep that idea first and put everything aside, I think it will work. A lot of people have told us, right, how do you click? நாங்கள் க்ரீன் ட்ரெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு போகும்போது 1 2 3 எடுத்துட்டோம். 4வது அவுட்லெட் சைன் பண்ண போகிறோம். அவர் கூப்பிட்டார், வாங்க எப்படி 2 பேரும் இன்னும் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். ஹி வாஸ் லைக், அவர் பேசுகிறத பார்த்தால் ஹி வாஸ் லைக், நீங்கள் 2 பேரும் புட்டுப்பீங்க இன்னும் சீக்கிரம் நினைச்சீங்க, ஏன்னா இவ்வளோ நாள் புட்டுக்காமல் இருக்கு. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி ஹி வாஸ் லைக் ஷாக்ட். கீப் பிஸ்னஸ் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சார். தெர் இஸ் நோ பர்சனல் ஈகோ பிட்வீன் அஸ். அவனான்றது பார்த்ததே கிடையாது. அட் த சேம் டைம் வி ஆல்வேஸ் கெப்ட் everything 50-50, profit, losses, investment, everything is 50-50. There is no one above or below. So I think
keeping the company first.
First, you keep the idea first, meaning more than you or the person. I think keeping the person behind and the idea first will always work.
You are in a business where it's not an aspiration to join ஒரு டீ கடைக்கு வந்து போய் ஜாயின் பண்ணுவேன், நான் டீ கடையில் தான் வேலை பண்ணுவேன் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி இல்லை. இட்ஸ் நாட் லைக் சம்திங் தட் பீப்புள் ஆஸ்பயர் ஃபார். நான் வந்து ஃபோட்டோகிராஃபர் ஆகிறேன், சினிமாகிராஃபர் ஆகிறேன், டைரக்டர் ஆகிறேன், அந்த மாதிரி. ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி லைக் you're dealing with employees like this, you're dealing with people like this. How do you maintain the attrition rate so low? Like what do you do specifically for them to keep them motivated to show up every day, do the same thing every day?
See, that's a big challenge for us as well. Our attrition is low, like you said, but then it's one of the biggest challenge for us. And out of all the challenges that we have, I think manpower is the biggest challenge, like for anybody else in the hotel industry. So we give them space to stay, right? But we don't give them food. All the hotel industry, everybody gives them place and food. We don't give them food. But you compare the stay, the accommodation that we give, and any other brand gives, you can clearly see the difference. They also see the difference. It will be like a normal, proper flat that we give. The difference in money would be very less, 3,000, 4,000 an outlet. We have 58 outlets, we have 58 staff accommodations we have. All of that would be top class. Not top class, but it's a proper house where we can go and live. இந்த மாதிரி சின்ன சின்ன விஷயங்கள், the way the uniforms that we give, the working atmosphere that they have in the kitchen, it will be like your own kitchen in your house. It will not be shabby, it will not be untidy. The water drainage facility எல்லாம் நீட்டாக பண்ணிட்டு it will be like their own place. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி சின்ன சின்ன விஷயம்லாம் we've done all of those right.
So improving the quality
of the, see how we treat them, right? Meaning if you treat them at par, like you said, what we get are not the same kind of people. Meaning it's not, they are from a slightly different lower class in terms of income, right? So their accommodations are to back home are all slightly below par, right? If you give them a better place to stay, meaning if you better everything, meaning their stay, their working atmosphere, I think that impacts them directly more than the money they get. But we still have people leaving us for a couple of thousands more all the time. That happens, but then many of them choose to stay even if they get 1,000 or 2,000 less with us, but because of the environment is better, the stay is better, the way we treat them is better. Yeah.
So tell me this, you were in IT and then quit and then tried different things. So one of the things that you tried and worked was a franchisee thing, right? Like you did franchisee of Green Trends, right? So why you shied away from it for your business model?
See, we've been franchisees. Let's say we know what a franchisee could do to the business, meaning the pros and cons both of it. When we were 6 outlets plus, that's when we had to decide whether we will go the franchise route or raise funding the equity route and expand. So at that point, for a business like us with 6 outlets, a smaller team size and all of that, we could have grown. Meaning there are so many franchise requests, but then to bring in 50-60 franchisees and then managing them, to manage them and then manage the way they manage the business and then also grow the brand, we thought it is not the right thing for a company like us, with a small company like us. Plus, there are very few successful business in the F&B industry who've gone the franchise route. I can give you so many failures. I can't even pinpoint one positive stories at all. There are people there, but then they're all 3 years, 4 years old. We'll have to wait and see how that unfolds. But then majorly people have failed in the franchise in the F&B industry because the profits are also very less. There is very little margin. The franchisee have to take it, and then the franchisor, I have to take some profits, and then there is the Swiggy, Zomato, they take away the huge chunk of the profits, 25-30% of it they take. This business doesn't have profits for all 3 of us, to be frank. Yeah, so that is one idea. Yeah.
So this maturity, how did it come? It came after trying different things, or do you do anything specifically to nurture your entrepreneurial knowledge? Do you have like any exercise? Do you have like mentors? What do you do to?
Look, we don't have mentors kind of. I mean, we don't have a specific. I can't call anybody a mentor. Like I go to him and ask for advice.
How do you nurture this entrepreneurship?
We talk to a lot of people, right? Anybody who wants to meet, we meet. Anybody calls for an interview, we'll go. Anybody and everybody from all walks of life, all business. A lot of people come and ask for advice kind of a thing as well, right? We meet them as well. I mean, it's about giving them some idea, but also we learn from that, right? So we meet a lot of people, we see a lot of things happening. Like I said, I have to quote Balaji again. He's got complete understanding of why a business fails, meaning if somebody would open a shop somewhere, at that point he'll say it will fail or it will do well, and he'll give the reason, right? I learn from that. I mean, I don't think that much when I see an outlet coming up. When I go and visit an outlet for an outlet, I don't look at the background of that area and see what will come, who will come. But he'll do a complete analysis of that area and tell me this is the kind of people there, this is what it is. The other side of that road is only Coam, nobody lives. So cleaner he'll do that. So I learn from that. We meet a lot of people and learn from them. That's how it is. We don't read books. We don't have that habit of reading books. Like you said, books, TVs, mentors. We don't have that. But then I think
meeting a lot of people.
We are part of all the groups that are there. We see the conversations happening, and then I think we learn from that. And this franchising is our own experience. We've seen, right? We're part of the salon industry. There were 300 franchisees, right? Each of those people have invested about 50-60 lakhs in the business, and then you invest 50-60 lakhs, and then you have a certain mindset, right? So we see that and we figure out, meaning if they have invested 50 and have this kind of a mindset, and if they only invest 15 lakhs, what kind of a mindset they'll have, meaning will they look at the brand as their own brand? So on the long path, we figured out, okay, this might not. We also saw Subway. They have a huge infrastructure for franchise. You do anything wrong, they'll send you a legal notice which is this big. So அந்த மாதிரி infrastructure இல்லாம you can't get into franchise business and control people. Right? You're not managing employees, you're managing business owners who've invested money, who are big shots or big people. ரொம்ப கஷ்டம் அவங்க மேனேஜ் பண்றது if you don't have the infrastructure.
When you started Chai Kings, there were other brands also in chai industry, right? Like, so what are the learnings that you took from them, or what do you like? How do you handle the competition? What is the learning that you constantly get from them, even now? Are there any?
Yeah, definitely there is. See, when we started, there was nobody in Chennai. Then that way the market was a virgin market. Nobody was there. There is no standard, or there is nobody to compare us with or benchmark us with. We were the first, so whatever we did was like kind of became the benchmark.
But there were other in the other cities.
Other cities, yeah, there are a lot of them. Apna, Chai Kahani, like you said, a lot of people were there. There are a lot of people abroad as well. Like I said, we visited all of them. We took learning from them. We figured out which model will work for us. We kind of pick and choose what will work for Chennai, what will work for the kind of business that we are planning to build. Other party da vandom. But after we started, there are a lot of people.
Lot of people now.
Like you said, there are டீ கடையில் வேலை செய்கிறதுக்கு aspiration இல்லைனாலும் lot of people wanted to do a brand like Chai Kings now. It's similar to around tea, there are a lot of people wanted to build a brand. And the investment is very less. And people think it is easy to do a chai business. So a lot of them come up.
I'm going to rephrase this. Like this journey, 2016 to 2022, this journey, what are the key factors that you would tell a beginning entrepreneur, an amateur who's just starting out? What are the key things that you learned?
See, we have to keep it very simple, okay? I can't, a lot of people we meet, a lot of them come and tell us their ideas and ask us advice kind of a thing. Before giving them very detailed analysis or ideas, we tell them to keep it simple. There are people tell us that they want to do a certain kind of an outlet, food truck for example, food truck in a certain area, and they would want to know if it will work. They wouldn't have even, see, you'll have to do the complete business plan. You don't have to sit and do a complete proper Excel sheet and do a plan for 2 years and then get into business. But then you'll have to get your basics right. In simple words, you'll have to see what kind of an investment you're looking at, what kind of money can you put in, and what are the business you are getting in. So that is one. Then you'll have to see if you're planning to sell fried rice, you'll have to see how much what is the cost of that fried rice is, right? If it will be about 50 rupees to make that fried rice, and how much can you sell it for? You'll have to easily at least sell it for 110, 120, right? So the food cost has to be in the range of 40-45%. So those kind of things, if you don't figure it out, the details of it, how many employees you would have, how many hours you will keep the store open, and what is the rent, what is the salary, how much other expenses would come, what is the food cost, what is the price that you can sell, how many people would come. If you don't do that basic mathematics and start something and then see, you won't get the money, right? You'll see business happening, you will see the money flowing, but then it will also go out. So those kind of things you shouldn't do. Meaning whatever you do the basic max, then get the numbers right, at least in terms of an idea of this much it will come, and then you start. அதை கூட பண்ணாமல் a lot of people start. A lot of people are very excited about the idea, food truck பண்ணிடலாம். ஃபுட் வந்து நான் வந்து என்ன சொல்லுவாங்கன்னா, I'll do a best quality at very cheap rate. No, ஓகே, உனக்கு என்ன நிற்கும் ஃபைனலாக? யூ வில் ஹாவ் டு டூ தட் கேல்குலேஷனில் ஆரம்பிச்சுட்டு we can do that calculation. It will not 3-4 months down the line you will figure out that it is not making profits for you. Then you will cut down on the quality of the rice that you give. People will figure out that your quality has gone down, they will not come back. Or you will raise the price after that. People will say 3 மாதம் தான் ஆச்சு, ப்ரைஸ் ஏற்றிட்டான்பான்னு. So all of that will backfire. If you start off planning everything and then you start
So
something.
planning is necessary.
Definitely. Exhaustive planning, நாங்களும் அப்படி பண்ணல. எக்ஸாஸ்டிவாக பிளான் பண்ணி பிஸ்னஸ் பிளான் you need not do, but then you have to do your basic max. என்ன பண்ணுறோம், என்ன நிற்கும், plus or minus 10%, 20% is also fine. But ஒன்றுமே பண்ணாமல் you can't jump into something and burn your fingers.
So running 58 stores is not a joke. How do you balance your sanity?
Okay, see, 50...
because there are so many operational issues, resource issues, resource மட்டும் இல்லை, emotional things. Like how do you balance all this? What do you do to keep yourself in balance?
See, I think it is never work. I mean, work போகிற மாதிரி கிடையாது. I mean, it is not like a 9 to 5 job for us. காலையில் வந்து Balaji, we always roam together. At least there's one emotional support for me and vice versa. It has never felt like work for us. Meaning it is only like you come in the morning, you meet friends, Mari, it goes on. And then the issues are all also not very pressurized issues. I mean, issues, it will never come, but all daily issues where you can manage it. If you can foresee what will come and planned, you don't get much issues here, to be frank. Apart from that, there is nothing else we do to keep sanity. Lose it is not that kind of a situation or a environment here.
One last question before I leave you. 3 things this is a must for any entrepreneur from your perspective.
See, 3 things, 4 things and சொல்றதை விட, I tell people like anything that you want to do, you keep it simple, right? You can't, I always say, நம்மளே பார்த்து சின்ன simple idea செம்மையாக பண்ணிட்டானே நம்மளே சொல்லணும். A lot of people have come to us and told us we had this idea to do chai stone. So இந்த மாதிரி பார்த்துருக்கோம். பயங்கர அதே சின்ன ஐடியா எடுத்தோம், lot of people have failed. So you keep it very simple. You don't build castles before everything is done. You can't 10 outlet 20 outlet அந்த மாதிரிலாம் பிளான் பண்ணாமல், you keep it very simple. Build your basics. That is one always. Like you always think through every part of it. Meaning it's only not about ஒரு கடை போகிறோன்னா கடையை போடுறோம், ப்ராடக்ட் விற்கிறோம் மட்டும் இல்லை. There are a lot of issues behind it. Supply chain இருக்குது, procurement இருக்குது, யார்கிட்ட வாங்குவோம், யார் கஸ்டமர், எம்ப்ளாயீஸ், உனக்கு who will hire for you, where will you get employees. So இது மாதிரி lot of issues. You think through all of that and then start. Basically வச்சுட்டு you do and keep it simple. You plan the entire thing. Second part of it is the financial part. You'll have to be very, very conscious to your financials, right? You can't, you have to have financial discipline. I think the way you put in money, the way you take out money from the business, all of that has to be based on the books, based on how the business is going. அது இல்லாமல் if you are not looking at what is coming out of the financial, ப்ராஃபிட்டில் போதா, லாஸில் போதா, எவ்வளோ போடுறோம், and if you don't have that kind of a financial thing to your business, I think that is where a lot of people do. First part is also people learn, meaning even if you don't plan and start, even if you do a very complex thing and start, people learn and adjust and get back on track. சரி பண்ணிடுவாங்க 3-4 months. Smart people. But the same smart people, if they goof up on the financial side, it's very difficult for them to get back up. So if you keep these 2 things straight, from there on you learn. According to the business that you have, according to your personal ability, you grow according to your size. But to at least get started, these things should be there.
I promise this will be the last question. I said the previous one was any business tools that you are favorite of, or tools that you use for your business, anything, maybe like any project management tools or any CRMs, tools that you love.
Microsoft Excel.
That is, you're running with that.
Everything was based on Excel, obviously. I think 2-3 years down the line, we hired a MIS guy. He was like, he can do everything on Excel. It's meaning that's how powerful Excel is, right? We use basic Excel, right? We just need to reconcile our sales and expenses and all of that. We built all of that on Excel, but now we have solid infrastructure. We have our own POS system, like I said. We have our SAP Business One for the back end. So because it's 58 outlets, there are a lot of inventory items. There are 3 warehouses now: Chennai, Coimbatore, Hyderabad. There are outlets everywhere. So all of that has to be tracked. So pilferage is one major issue here in this industry. So everything has to be tracked. So now we've got SAP because of the size. But until about 25-30 outlets, the entire thing was run on Excel. I think still that is our most favorite tool for all of us.
Awesome. Super, Sadiq. Thank you so much. It was wonderful. Personally, I felt the biggest takeaway for me is keep it very simple. You took a simple idea, kept it very simple, and have done something amazing. No, it's awesome. So thank you so much. It was wonderful.
Thank you so much. Very happy to be here. Nice studio. Thank you.
Thank you, Sadiq.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.